Next, we are to hear from the wind area. A speaker is from Marubeni Corporation, the General Manager of Offshore Wind and Domestic Renewable Energy Department. We are to hear from Mr. Keiji Okazaki about the initiatives by Marubeni in the area of wind power.
皆さん、こんにちは。
Good afternoon. Thank you very much for the introduction. I am Okagaki.
丸紅の洋上
to talk about the offshore wind power generation initiatives of Marubeni.
丸紅という敷地企業の取り組みではございますが、
So, as Marubeni, in past, for more than 10 years, we've been working on many leading efforts or cutting-edge efforts, and during the endeavor, we've been supported by NEDO, and I'd like to share with you some of our experiences. So I'd like to start from the organization and history of our company, but I just like to ask you to just look at the slide and move forward. So this is the our global asset portfolio of the company, but I'm also not going to go into detail. But in the past 30 years, in 20 countries, we're still working on power businesses in a gross manner, about 36 gigawatt. On net basis, 11 gigawatt is our total figure, and there are various methods for power generation. Now, domestic side, in about past 10 years, let's focus on renewable energy. We've increased our assets, and today we have 32 projects domestically and about 1,000 megawatt on gross basis and about 160 megawatt on net basis. Now, I'd like to talk about our track record in the area of domestic offshore wind projects. In 2013, we started the operation of the floating offshore wind farm in Fukushima. This is a demonstration, and this is a project subsidized by METI, 20 kilometers off the coast, and with a depth of 100 meters, we installed 3 turbines, and we have 3 types: the sub and advanced spar, and the other. There are 3 types, and in 2019, there was a Kitakyushu floating offshore demonstration projects. This was supported by NEDO, and 15 kilometers off the coast of Kitakyushu City with a depth of 50 meters, we installed 1 turbine, and the barge type was a type of the floating. And then from 2020, we started the commercial-based large-scale offshore wind project. This is a bottom fixed, but we started construction in 2020, and in 2023, we started the full-scale commercial operation. And actually, I was a president of the operation team company, and led the project on locally for 4 years. And I'd like to share with you the latest project. This is the Korean Innovation Fund Phase 2 of NEDO, and a consortium led by us on the 7th of this month.
こちらは15メガワット超の風車を2
was officially to start. There's going to be a 15 megawatt capacity turbine. Two of them will be installed. And we are working with the 9 companies in total, including ourselves, with the local power company and Japan Marine United. And we are to work on the mass production of the floaters and the cost reduction and the overseas expansion. They are the pillars of our projects, and we're aiming at starting operation in around 2029. This project is until March 2031. Already under Green Innovation Fund Phase 1 in the Akita City and the Katakami City, the loader portion alone was tested as a test equipment, but this time for the floater, we are to use semi-sub floater. Location, Honjo City, and this is about the 30 kilometer off the coast of the southern part of Akita Prefecture with a depth of 400 meters.
洋上風力の早期社会実装
toward the early social implementation and for increasing the international competitiveness of Japan, we will be working on this project. Our track record overseas.
会社は2011年
In
に
2011, as the first Japanese company, we took part in offshore projects.
2012年には
In 2012,
少式の
we acquired a company which owned a set vessel. The name of the company is CJAC.
2014年には英国でもう
In UK, we took part in the project in UK in 2014, which was under construction. In 2022,
スコットランドにおきまして
in Scotland,
3.6 ギガワット級の浮体式の
we took part in the development, or we obtained a development right for the larger scale project in 2022 with a scale of 3.26 gigawatt in total.
専門に担う会社といたしま
As a company specialized in the offshore wind development, about 4 years ago, we established a Marubeni Offshore Wind Development Corporation, MOWD, with the employees about 60 at this moment, working on development and operation of the offshore wind power generation, both domestically and internationally. I'd like to come back to this offshore wind power generation project of Akita. This is aimed to be a first large-scale commercial operation project, and it has started already. And this is in the port area of Akita Port and Noshiro Port in Akita Prefecture. And every year, METI and the ministry is working on the general sea areas, so it's port area, so it's different from that. But in essence, what are required is the same. There are 13 turbines for the Akita port side and the 20 in Noshiro. And we use the Vestas turbine. And the capacity of generation is 140 megawatt. This is the photo of the completed status from the west-hand side. This is the Akita port area, and this is the Noshiro port side. Again, this photo is taken from the west-hand side.
につきましては、事業の検討開始から建設
From the beginning of the planning till the start of the construction, it took 5 years, and the completion of the power plant was 3 years after that. So it was, and project period is a 20-year. and inclusive of development period, work construction period, and renewable period. In total, it would be 30 years. And this is the structure or organizational structure for the construction. The construction package includes the maritime work and installation of turbine, and also onshore transmission and the substation work. And this is the process for offshore work. I'm not going to go into detail, but there are 7 processes.
基地港湾
Now, Bridgeport,
建設には
for the construction of the offshore wind power farm construction, Bridgeport port is needed, and the Akita port was used. This is a port which was for the first time designated as such port, and monopile and transition piece were brought to the port. And in terms of the installation for the foundation, step vessel is used, which is shown on the left-hand side. Link was extended to the sea bottom, and the step vessel is above sea level for about 10 meters, so that stable work can be done. And this photo is the photo of where the monopile is inserted. And on the right-hand side is a transition piece after installation. And then this is a photo from the installation of the undersea cable. And also, this is a photo of this scoring prevention work
投入するというものです。
for the purpose of the solidifying the foot of the structure. And next year, the turbine was installed with the same step vessel. For the installation work, boating were needed, so that there was no noise. One tower is installed in 1 day under our process, 24 hours. So currently, operation and maintenance is done with this organizational structure. We use Vestas for the maintenance for the tower itself, but the others is done by subsidiary of the Marubeni.
の事務所は
Office for the 1M was set up right next to the area. And access vessel, CDV, or crew transfer vessel, there are 2 of them, one each at the port and the offshore port. And the operation of the CTV is done by JV of the local companies. That's our initiative in Scotland, UK.
スコットランド開発公社との覚書
So we have a memorandum of understanding or memorandum of cooperation with the Scottish enterprise. And also we have the MOC with the UK government.
浮体式の用
Now, our floating type offshore project, Ocean project,
地元のユーティリティ、それからデンマーク
we're working with the Scotland utility and Danish company. We're working together on the development
許認可取得に向けて各種調査を
toward the permission. We're now continuing various surveys. In future, in Japan, in EEZ,
くると思いま
I
す。
believe that the large scale project is become possible also in Japan. And so we are to acquire needed know-how and other insights in outside of Japan so that we can lead development of the large scale project in Japan in future as well. That's what we are hoping for. Lastly, I'd like to talk about our partnership with the BP, a oil major company of UK. We have a partnership over decarbonization.
再生可能エネルギー
Oil majors are now going toward the direction of renewable energy with their strong fund being invested in renewable energy. That is a clear direction. So
協業、こちら
we are also interested in working with such a partner so that we can address the market which is to grow going forward. Thank you.
岡垣様、
Thank you very much, Mr. Okagaki. On a daily basis, we've been hearing about the renewable offshore or the offshore renewable power projects. And thank you very much for your sharing. I have just one question.
これまでの実績を伺っておりますと、世界中で、
So globally, your company has been working on power businesses throughout the world. And as you've been working on different types of the energy businesses, what are attracting points of the wind power generation, or particularly
組もうとされる
why you decide to work on the offshore wind, especially floating offshore wind, which is very challenging.
事業そのものは、それなりの歴史
If wind power generation itself has a long history, and in Japan as well, implementation has progressed. But when it comes to offshore wind, well, this is about, of course, installing turbines offshore. This has a game-changing potential. That is my personal belief.
においてですね、
Japan, with limited land, utilizing sea areas
魅力、これは
to change the energy mix is very attractive in terms of idea. And to change the energy mix, it will require much resource, both in terms of time, financial resource, and labor. But we have to do it in order to achieve carbon neutrality. And Japan has a potential for that.
おりますので、
I'm keenly aware of that. With that strong passion, I've been working on offshore wind power projects. Thank you very much for the explanation. With your strong passion, you've been working on the projects, and I gained an understanding about that. I'd like to ask you more questions, but with the interest of time, I say let's conclude the presentation from Okagaki-san. Please give him a round of applause.
NEDO